Did you hear it twice or
Mm-hmm.
once?
Twice.
Oh, well, hey, how you doing? I mean, hey, how
What
you
up?
doing?
How you doing? How you doing?
You look like me last week.
I feel like you last week.
Yeah, I was dead.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not even sure what I said. I'm sure I said something, and then you said something that kind of made me go up. So that kind of charged me, and
Yeah.
then I dropped right again. Just drop right out, dead. You know, somebody said the other day in the gym,
Mm.
water gives me energy, and I was like, um, is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by unless you dehydrated and about to die or something? I guess, but
Mm.
not trying to. I don't know how you could get energy out of water, but did it work for you just now?
It didn't, but I drank it for to quench my thirst. I don't.
Yeah, I was like, what? And I was like, you know what? I don't have to argue with them about how crazy that sounds. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this party started because Quest might not make it much longer. So we got to get him while he's away. You see what I'm saying? Like you see what I'm saying, y'all? Like you see what's going on here? All right.
You
So
you know when you've been rocking all day long, man. You just yeah.
you telling me. I look, I don't have no criticism. Look, yeah.
And the
So
day is not done. The day is not done.
nope. I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure it isn't. All right. So why don't we go ahead and hey, y'all. Um, for those of you joining for the very first time, that's my man New Questament over there.
What up, though?
And I'm me, as always. And we're going to begin our program in just a couple of minutes here.
Yep. Yep.
Excuse me. And when it sounds like we know what we're talking about, it's because we are getting with the audio as well. So whenever Quest is ready, we're going to get set. And
I'm ready, dude. I'm
all
ready.
right. All right, then I'm going to hit this button over here first.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, I keep hitting them. Okay, start. And then that button over there.
Mm-hmm.
24/7 live. That would be so dope if we had something, but we don't. So, all right, quiet on the set. Yes, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today?
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another edition of the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast. I am your host with the most, Quest, alongside my man Mamelo, which is my co-host. Y'all already know. My man Mamelo, my man L. David Harris. And MC.
Yeah, what up, bro?
Yeah, they couldn't contain themselves. They was just like, say it, say it.
Class is in. Hold on.
Session. Say it, say it, say it.
What is wrong with him? Yeah, it's not a recording, y'all. Like, we don't have to say it the same way every single week, even though we kind of like to.
Yeah, nah, I like to say it. What am I saying? I love variety.
You love variety.
Yeah, something. Yeah, rules are in place as guidelines for me. I'll bend them jokers in a minute.
Yo, I say that every time I go through a red light. It's just a suggestion. Now, if y'all believe that, there's something wrong with you.
Ooh, so yeah, you might want to slow down.
Yeah, I
But you
believe
don't
that.
have to.
Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You, not me. Not me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Mm.
So yeah, man. Shouts out to everybody. Welcome to like I said, another edition of the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast. Real quick, D, I just want to I want to shout out the family and friends and loved ones of Nipsey Hussle. And I like for real, you know how there's one thing about an incident that'll last maybe a day or two and then you don't hear nothing about it no more. Well, this thing has been going on for days now. Days. And people are really affected. And I think I'm proud of Nipsey in the sense that he is a dude who like for real, he from the hood. Really and truly like they say, I've just been reading on some interviews and some stuff. They say that his bloodline goes all the way back to Haile Selassie, which is a whole other conversation. But in terms of who he is and where he was, he grew up, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, Crenshaw, Slauson, that's his, you know what I'm saying, and he bought out the whole block and brought businesses back to the hood, employed people, showed love all around. You were not allowed to come to, you know, the little shop, but anywhere that his business, don't come here with guns and stuff, like leave that out on the, you know what I'm saying? The dude who took his life, I think, knew that. And so he was just basically letting them know, like, for real, you want snitch status. You're not welcome around here right now. You need to get whatever that is right, but don't, you know what I'm saying? The dude got mad, went and got his gun, came back and put him to sleep. And so many people were affected by that because you saw my dude actually making strides into becoming a new person. And I think he had just got started.
That's what I hear, man. I don't know nothing about the brother, but that's what I've heard since then.
Yeah.
Since he passed away.
I mean, here's how adversely people have been affected. I mean, it's a good thing. Like the gang started coming together and was like, all right, truce. Enough is enough already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start talking about how we can move forward from here.
Gotcha.
And they were out there actually politicking and building and trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And to see, and I'm sorry that had to happen. And here's the funny thing. I'm always like, man, why does it always take till calamity for us to make, you know what I'm saying, adjustments and changes? You know, we talk about it here on our podcast a lot, you know, that in order for us to straighten up and fly right as terms of marriages, you got to experience some form of calamity. Like, don't wait.
Nah.
And it's not that you didn't know that there were adjustments that needed to be made, but some way, somehow we just get complacent in the foolishness that we're in, and we wait until it takes us to the point of no return, and then we're just like, okay, cool now, because he can't come back.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get his life back. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the pain that people feel, we can't change it now because he's gone.
Right.
You know? And so I'm glad that people are making, like, for real permanent changes as it results to just becoming better. But yeah, man, I'm sorry that he had to go in order to make that happen. So shouts out to Nipsey, man. Shouts out to his family. Shouts out to friends and family and everybody else who's feeling, you know what I'm saying, the pain of his loss. It's painful because you finally see a dude who come up from, you know what I'm saying, from nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hustling, gangbanging, all of that stuff, and then make a switch and say to himself, like, okay, we got to do things differently. There's got to be a better way to do this. And he actually started doing it. And he was just getting started. City council meetings, trying to build this for these children over here, this for this community over here. I mean, and then for it all to just get snatched away. So not to be long-winded, man, much love and respect and condolences go out to Nipsey and his family and everybody else who was associated with the brother. Good brother.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Other than that, D, everything is good on the green, you know what I'm saying, side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? We are faith is like for real. There's a season I think that we're entering into, and I don't think it's just the spring season. We're starting to work together on some stuff. Of course, you know, she my boss. She tell me what to do.
Keep the faith.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She is so structured and so detailed when it came to stuff. I mean, you were here earlier when she came in. It was like, okay, this paperwork, I need you to sign it. Just sign it. Don't ask me no questions. Just sign it. And I signed it. Okay. And when you're done, I need you to scan it and send it to me.
No, she didn't. No. That's not what she said.
What did she say?
That's why it was so funny to me. She said, whenever you get to the time, whatever that means, right? She said the time, right? When you're done.
Yeah.
It needs to be.
Yeah, it needs to be scanned.
And then she said it needs to be emailed. And that's why I fell out, because I was like, that means you. That means you. You gonna do it.
Yeah.
But nah, that's me. But that we're married, right? That's
but here's the funny thing.
So funny,
and I think this is where people go wrong in marriage sometimes too, D. They don't accept the roles.
Right. That's right.
She makes decisions and she pays bills. And all I do is give her money. That's it. I don't ask no questions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the way that it is. And I accept it. You know, I'm not structured the way that she is.
No loss.
And there's no loss. And she continues to let me be who I am. And I continue to let her be who she is. Now, most of the times, you know what I'm saying, she makes the decisions behind the scene and I just carry them out. And I've accepted that. And the marriage flows so much. You know, when people hear that, you're like, nah. I want to do X, Y, and Z. Now, my gorilla, of course, is much higher than her. So at the end of the day, when it comes to decision making, I make the final decision. But when it comes to details and structure, and when I'm making decisions, sometimes I don't consider all the details. So my decision making has to change sometimes because she's introduced information that I didn't think about. But sometimes I think we become twisted up because we're not, we want to drive sometimes. Well, that's not your superpower. That's your spouse's superpower to drive. So you let them drive. Because you notice anytime you drive, you drive on the sidewalk, you knock down trees, the car needs to stay on the road. So she's better at driving. So sometimes just go ahead and give her the responsibility to drive.
Done.
Or vice versa.
Or get out the way. Yeah.
I'll get out the way. And you win.
Really and truly, the responsibility is where it is. You just got to kind of get out of the way and let whoever's more adept. I was trying to find a neutral term.
Yeah.
Right? Like whoever's more adept, that's what they do. Like ain't no loss, ain't no love lost, man.
Yep.
As much as I was laughing, it was just funny because I don't know, I was feeling silly at the moment.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, that's what it is on the side. I'm so thankful for her and the role that she plays. And yeah, there's no confusion why, because I let her do what she do.
Word.
What's up on the Harris forefront?
Yeah,
life is life. Yep.
Yeah, life is life. You already know, man. You could have predicted that, B. Like I just put up another water tank, so that's something you don't have to worry about.
Word.
Another 650 gallons.
Come on.
So we got 2 of those and a 400. So sometimes the water not too steady.
Yeah.
So I was working on that all day Sunday, putting plumbing in for that. So because it gets real funny, man. After a day or two, they stop pumping the water. And then you knocking on the tank and you like, man, that joint is going down. Yeah. Day 3, it's going down. Now I'm upset. Like, are we going to get water? And they don't ever tell you when it's broke. It's after you're done with your first tank, if you have 2. Then it's like, oh, by the way, you're not going to have no water for the next month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, really?
Yeah.
I would have liked to know that before we wash clothes.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
I mean, and could have prioritized.
Nice. Absolutely.
So, yeah, thank God when you don't have to worry about that, y'all. And I ain't mad that we do. It's what it is.
It's what it is. It's what it is.
Life is life, Quest.
Yeah, no doubt it is. No doubt it is. So, yeah, man, let's jump off into it, man. Yeah, man, just want to shout out Breathe University. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. As always, y'all know what it is. Breathe University is the brand new e-learning platform led by Dr. Eric Thomas. And inside BU, you will get access to Eric Thomas doing Along with all of his proven tools, strategies, and resources, you need to jumpstart your greatness in one convenient location. It is a family of learners and learning committed to pushing one another under some wonderful instruction by Eric Thomas himself, along with people like Jamal King, Josh Hatch, CJ, myself, who runs the marriage side of things. But yeah, it gets no better than this. So if you want more information, please go by etinspires.com or breatheuniversity.com and get more information. This weekend going down in Dallas, it is the 1% Club Conference. Yeah, think and move and get results like the 1%ers do. And I'm telling you, it's been phenomenal thus far. We go through the assessment a little bit, D, and we like for real bang people in the head, get an understanding of who you are and how you're wired and how it works with what you're doing. So that's this weekend. Next weekend, we'll be, I think that's the 26th and 27th. We will be in Chicago, Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead real quick and get what you need there. And I'm telling y'all from now, because we're in April now and we haven't even hit the 25th. So I'm telling y'all a year and a couple weeks in advance or a week in advance. April 25th next year until May 1st. I'm going to say it one more time. April 25th next year until May 1st, we will be in Riviera Maya, Mexico. Yep, at the Estera Resort. Let me tell y'all something. It's going to be phenomenal. It is called the Phenomenal Life Conference 2020. Next year, we're doing it in Mexico. Yep, Riviera Maya in Mexico. Yep, and your boy will be doing the men's empowerment there next year. So yes, indeed, we need to see y'all in the building. So please do be there. Please do be there. We're telling you in advance. And yeah, for more information, just go to Google and Google Phenomenal Life 2020 because I can't remember. Oh no, phenomenallife2020.com is the URL. So go by there. Yep, Phenomenal Life 2020. If you want to be there, you want to be in the building, please do. Yep, start putting away your pennies from now and hope to see you in Mexico next year.
Wow. Well, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. This program is brought to you by Audible. Get your free audiobook and 30-day free trial.
Yep.
By directing your web browser to www.audibletrial.com/marriage with more than 180,000 titles from which to choose for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, and who knows what those other MP3 players are. But you can use those, get something that you like to listen to, and recommend it to us again at www.audibletrial.com/marriage. I figured I'd get one more kind of offbeat, unpredictable, annoying thing before we get started.
Yep, no doubt.
So, go get it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So, D, tell us where we at today, man.
Yeah, so I was thinking, right? And of course, we were thinking that, you know, we haven't done a program. We only did actually one, really. Once in a while, we drop jewels anyway throughout our programs. But we haven't done a program that is supportive of persons who are not single. I mean, who are not married.
Yeah.
So we've not done a life support program for single people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things is we need to be seeing ourselves. So it's a double-edged sword, right? We need to be seeing ourselves as married people, as people that are helpful to those who aren't yet married.
Absolutely.
Right. So this is, you know, sort of a voyeur thing where you can listen. How can we be helpful to people who are single? And if your single friends are listening and our single friends are listening, then they can pick up some jewels here too. Because quite frankly, a lot of people had those instances before they got married, right? And now that they're married, they're like, man, if I had known this, then I would have done this. Either prior to or as soon as I got married or at some other point, some critical juncture in the marriage time. So these are things that you know can be helpful to those who are not yet married, and maybe we can pick up some jewels as married people along the way, but certainly to be able to give to those who are not. Got it? Was that confusing?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'll receive the message if you would play the sender.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't have any, I'm not going to lie. Y'all might think I am, but I'm not. I mean, I don't have any major, if I had known this then scenarios, because I got married a little older, and Simone and I both almost got married to other people. So we kind of went through some of that preliminary thinking and experiencing ahead of marriage stuff twice, right? Because we didn't get married to the first set of people, and we did marry each other, right? So a lot of that was out. And besides, Simone was my good friend for 11 years before we got married. So, but I do help a lot of people, and I overhear a lot of people who talk about stuff they wish they had known, right? And let me just tell you, there was a guy, right? He's older than I am, but he's still single. And like 20 years ago, I remember the dude saying to me, yo, when I come home from work, I just like being quiet. I don't like talking. And I started laughing. I was like, so-and-so, really? That's cool. Like, I hope your wife is cool with that if you ever get married, because you can like to be quiet all you want when you get home. But if she's home, or she comes home like soon thereafter, or she wants to be on the telephone with you, because Simone used to call me up on the phone. Like, I'm home chilling and she's in traffic. Guess who's getting the phone call?
Oh, yeah.
So you can want to be quiet all you want, right? But you should probably want to be accessible, because really and truly, I understand that need because I'm a melancholy.
Yep.
But wifey's not a melancholy. So she wants to be the opposite of quiet.
Oh, yeah.
She wants interaction. You feel me?
Yep,
So, yeah, if you are planning to get married, there are a lot of things. It may not be that thing because that's that guy and, hypothetical wife person, right? But there are a lot of things that you may have as sort of paradigm that you think is going to go a certain way. But you just kind of have to be open to the reality that it ain't necessarily going to go like that. It could go any number of ways, but you have to be open and say, all right, my paradigm as a single person is this. But as a married person, I don't know what it is yet because I'm not yet married. So I have to be open. We have to write that script together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Simone, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish, and then I'll come behind.
Last quick one. That's a simple thing. I like to go from simple to complex because that's a simple one. Here's an even simpler one. So I didn't shack up with Simone, right? So my paradigm at home, because I was a single dude who had his own money in his own apartment from age 19, was to have my own bed. And my own bed meant queen size bed with my body in the middle of it, and have whatever part of me stretched out whatever way I wanted. Right? Well, it sounds simple enough until you actually have to find yourself on one side or the other, or share in some kind of way. Y'all might be creative on how you do that.
Absolutely.
All right. So I get married. I'm like, man, I got to move to one side. Well, the side that I wanted, guess what? That's her favorite side, Quest. This is real. This actually happened.
Bro, that is my life. The side of the bed that I still to this day want. Faith sleeps on that side of the bed.
Now what, right? It's a simple thing, but you got to kind of know that everything that has to do with life is changed, not negatively. I'm just saying it's not a lot of times what you might think it is.
And here's the funny thing. I got to be okay with that no matter what environment we're in. We're out of town. We stay at a friend's house. She's on that side of the bed.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're out of town. We go to a hotel. She's on that side of the bed. We go on a doggone camping trip.
She on that side
on that side of the sleep, where however we sleep, she's on that side.
Yeah, man. Simple things, y'all. But really and truly, married people can kind of chuckle and say, boy, isn't that something? Ain't that true?
Yep. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You have to have the presence of mind, the simpleness of heart to be able to just accept it. And is this one little thing going to really shake me? No. Because I sleep just as fine on the wrong side of the bed.
Because if it does, you have a problem. And that's usually, honestly, Quest, I don't know from your experience, and I'm not saying this as a joke or an alley-oop. I mean, for real, from your coaching experience, In my case, most of the stuff that is causing problem outside of infidelity and lies is simple stuff in people's marriages that I'm helping. It's always something simple. And I'm like, and you don't want to be unsympathetic or come across as unsympathetic, because I'm not unsympathetic, but I don't want to come across that way. Right. And it's like you're listening, you're like, that's what y'all are beefing about?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's breaking up your marriage?
Absolutely.
Really? And yes, really, yes. There's a lot of stuff that you might not think is of such a level of value that it would break people up, but it absolutely is, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you move from let's move from the simple then to a little bit more or less simple.
All right. So if we move up just a stage, just coming home late from work on a regular basis without any, either one, you do it a little bit and then you check yourself and you say, all right, so husband, wife, whatever your name is, pet name, whatever, I'm going to be late. And then you stop saying it. And so what if one or the other spouse is waiting for your input on something very important to them? Or what if the spouse hasn't seen you in 3 days because you've been on business trips, and then on day 4, when you go to work, it's late and it's on a regular basis? Right? Or if, God forbid, you have a spouse who's home with the children and you are the one who's out at work, and coming home late means all of the house, all of the children situation is on one spouse, and the spouse is not okay with it. Because some spouses are cool with it, but a lot of spouses,
if they're stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads, then they might be cool with it.
Nah, those are the ones that are least cool with it, because it's all day, bro. Ask I'm ashamed, Justin's wife, Adrian.
Oh, yeah.
Ask my wife outside that door.
Yep.
Ask me when I used to do work from home and stay at home while she went out to work.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? Come to think of it, yeah, I think you're right, because you want a moment. Let me tell you, children are some of the most rambunctious, especially when they're your own. Unless they're mild-mannered or mild-tempered, they can be some of the most rambunctious. Like Nico is a little bit more reserved than Mason is, right? Of course, in the house, I get to see a different side of him, but he is one of the most rambunctious children ever. Something don't go the way he wanted to, immediately it's a scream and a cry, and it's a cry that just for real makes my blood boil sometimes. And I guess it's because I'm used to hearing it all the time. But for real though, it drives me crazy, right? And imagine having to deal with that all day, as opposed to your spouse who has had the opportunity to go to work and have a break in the monotony.
As rough as work can be.
But you don't have nobody at work that, you know what I'm saying, that's like whining and carrying. But maybe you do. I don't know.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when it's home and it's your children, as much as you love your children, you can't go for a lunch break to break the cycle. You can't have the privilege of sitting in traffic, which you may hate, but it's at least it's not driving the desk or the board, right? So we have to be really sort of cognizant and sensitive, not just aware, but also sensitive to the reality, man. Because if not, yeah.
But as it relates to, those who are not married yet or moving into marriage, these are probably some of those things that you need to start paying attention to or having conversations about before you get in. Now, you and I were talking before we started recording about a particular situation where my man is just engaging in he's engaging for the PG-13 listeners, engaging in that happy place.
So he's having a grown man ahead of time.
He's having the GMG way ahead of time.
So he's not married yet,
Yep.
but
And
he's having
yep.
intercourse with
Yes.
whoever.
And some of
not whoever, his
significant
woman
other.
friend or whatever you call it now. I don't know how you call it now, Quest. It's been 18 years for me, bro.
Significant other's fine. They ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. And the funny thing about it is now that he's talking to you about moving towards marriage, do you really know what you're getting into?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or for anybody for that matter, when you're doing that and you're about to move in or you're moving towards, do you really know what you're doing? Are you making a solid decision? Do you have all the information and details necessary to make even a decision of that magnitude?
So you're sharing a house already. You're sharing car already. You're sharing toothpaste already, right? So what's the point of going to the next step, really?
I just want to, here's the funny thing. To any woman, no disrespect intended, but to any woman who, let me just get you hip to men real quick, who is giving up the goods before you get married, no disrespect, but you're an idiot. And I'm going to tell you why.
Wait, you're going to say no disrespect? And then
no disrespect. It's like, for real, it's a stupid. Yeah, you right, D. You right. Let me make that more respectful. It would not be wise.
Okay, I can feel that. I feel it.
It would not be wise for you to engage. Now, some might be saying, boy, you're a fool. No, you're a fool. You know why? Because you are now, even if you're a woman and you like sex as much as a male does, and I can say that any man whose wife loves sex just as much as he does, or if not more, I think I speak on behalf of all men when I say we hate you. And and you better not ever make that known publicly or we will give you the beats. All right. So, no, all jokes aside, though, that's just me being facetious, but all jokes aside, even if there's a thing that's inside a woman in her wiring that eventually wants permanent, lifelong commitment. And the reason why some of you are in relationships, not the sole reason, but a lot of the times it's the major reason why you have not gotten married yet, is because you gave up the goods long before. Like when a contractor comes in to do work, do you give him just write out his entire check before the work is done?
Not if you're wise.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You always know that you always got to pay for your services before you receive. You know what I'm saying? Like if you pay a fraction, you receive your services and then you finish the payment. You understand? And so it's the same kind of principle in what we're doing now in terms of talking about this thing. You've already given up everything that he's working towards. He's working towards having that loving. Most men are. Yeah. I mean, because that's what, like for real, he doesn't see you the first time and be like, oh, what a beautiful mind. Whatever his preference is, he's
say
looking.
That louder, just to so you whispered it. I got the effect. Now say what you just said so we can again.
I'm just saying most guys, the majority of men, and a very high majority, I would say 95% of men, when they see you, we're very visual creatures. When they see you, they're not saying, oh, what a beautiful mind. They're looking at you first and foremost as the attraction because we're visual, and they're saying, ooh. And whatever his thing is, I guarantee you that it is related to some sexual nature. Now, there are those of us who are mature now who have seen like, okay, good. You meet the physical standards. Let me get to know who you are as a person. You know, for those mature men who know that a relationship is not all about the physical standard, but how you carry yourself as well, how you are able to, in other words, men who are concentrated on the compatibility just as much as they are focused on the chemistry, right? Those men have that understanding. But for some of us who are just like, oh, I'm about to make you wifey. Why? Just because she looked good?
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I hope not. I hope not.
Everything that looked good ain't good. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, let me tell you. Okay. All right. So last year or the year before, right? So you know how recent it was, whichever way you want to look at it, right? Yeah. So I was in a big bank in Jamaica, right? One of the big, okay, so it may not be a big deal wherever you are, but kind of banking centers are only a certain way in certain parts of this side of the island, right? So you're not going to find like the all of these wonderful services that have little to do with banking in the hood bank.
Yeah.
The same actual corporate entity, but a different branch. Like certain stuff you're not going to find.
Yeah.
So I'm downtown, right, at the head office of Sagicor Bank, right? And this lady comes in, and I don't want to give you all of the details. Like, it's a woman who is of a certain look that in Jamaica is seen as
Sketel.
not that.
The opposite.
No, the opposite. Yeah.
Okay.
But to the extreme though. Like well-to-do. She's young, but she's well-to-do. She's of a certain complexion that, for whatever reason, people think is supposed to be so dope, or so wonderful, or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man. So she asks the security. I'm watching this. She asks the security guard, "Where's the bathroom?"
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Go ask the security guard or officer just outside these doors where it is."
Mm-hmm.
She said, "No, I want you to tell me." Just like that. She barked at him. "No, I want you to tell me." Now, Quest, the door is, there's a big, one of the big, those big, if you're in a massive building, one of them big steel and glass door out, and then through there, and then to the left to this other guard's desk, and all the marble on the walls and all this, right? So he said simply, "Ma'am, please go to that officer that's going to be outside of these doors, and he'll direct you." "No, I need you to tell me." And he was looking at her like, "What?" He said, "But miss, the gentleman right there." "No, I need to see the manager." And she kirks out. I'll just leave it at that. There were like 15 more rounds of it. And then she said, "Go get the manager."
I can't leave my post. What are you talking about? I'm on security.
Thank you. You're so smart, Quest. You're so intelligent. That's why I like you, Quest. And he's like, "I can't." "No, you're gonna." And she raises Cain. And then after about 15 minutes of this, I'm like, because I'm a behavior modification guy, so I'm fascinated, right? She moves to the front of the actual banking line. She wasn't in no line.
Nah, you joking.
Barking at some tellers about get the manager, because I want this security officer, because he's being insubordinate, because he would not tell me where the bathroom wasn't even in there. And he's telling her where to go. And I know why, because I know where the bathroom is, why he would have said to go to this person, so he wouldn't have to explain all of these different movements just to get to the restroom. He's sending her to where she can find out what she needs to know. So why am I saying this? She was hot, Quest. Besides what I described about her apparent strata, she was hot. And I called Simone immediately. I was like, you're not going to believe this. Like, this woman is, if you just put her on a picture, any dude that's into this look is going to be like, yo, what is her name?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if anybody takes her out, they lose, bro, because she was bananas. I'm telling you, she was bananas, right? So if you do stuff based on look, and then you mess around and get something in that kind of order or worse, you get what you deserve. Like, you really need to take time and say, is it really about looks?
But in essence, though, but here's the funny thing. We may not say it.
Yeah.
But our actions definitely say it sometimes.
And we get what we deserve.
Because do you know how many chicks are in situations now where they've been waiting for a male to marry them? And it's been like 3 years, 5 years.
Yeah, I do.
7 years. 7 years you dating, and you can't tell whether or not you want to spend your life with one another. Yo, let me tell you something. Me and Faith, I knew her from high school. Let me not get that twisted. From the time I left Greater and went to Jersey, that's when I met Faith.
Wow, that's 31 years.
Okay.
30
All right. So you already know now. Like, I've known her for a very long time. But when we started dating, which was not until I was like, what are we, 37, 36, somewhere in there. We've been married now for 8 years, and we've been dating after my first year. Really and truly, after my first 6 or 7 months, I already knew, like, yup. Because here's the funny thing. I started engaging in it in the beginning. And God kindly just tapped me on the shoulder like, you about to do the same thing again. You about to do it again. And that time I was really trying to be who I needed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like really trying to walk with God. He's like, yo, my friend, you're about to do it again. And I was like, I had to go back and tell her, look, we got to stop. And she was mad as hell because she was just like, I'm enjoying this. This is lovely. And I was like, no, and here, I'm not stopping because I want to leave. I'm stopping because I want this to be ordained. Yeah, I want it to be ordained. If it's right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and she wasn't happy about it, but she's like, you know what? I respect it.
I want to stay. I'm doing this because I want to stay.
I want to stay. And I want this to stay.
I want this to stay.
I want this to stay. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, for real, here we are going on 8 years later. And we still going strong. Why though? Because we took the time to really concentrate on some stuff. And I didn't have anything else as we moved into the relationship. I didn't have anything to block my vision as to say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everything was driven not by, but it was driven by this and by this.
Right.
It's funny what kind of decisions you can make when you take that away from the equation. And some of us, right, you said, I hope not that that's what you would be doing, but in essence, that's what some of us are doing. Yes. And what you're doing, you're mistaking chemistry for compatibility.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Say that one, please.
Yeah, you're mistaking chemistry for compatibility. Let me tell you something. The sex could be mind-blowing, but sex can't help you when it comes to making a financial decision. Sex can't help you when it comes to making a decision on how you're going to parent your kids. Sex can't help you when you're deciding what your faith is going to be, your core value. That can't help you in that area. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we say that we would hope that's not what we're doing, but in essence, that's what we're doing. When you, ladies, let me just help you out. If you want a relationship and if you want a relationship that will last, when a man wants you, if you hold it back from him until marriage, guess what? If he wants you, he's going to stick with you.
I'm going to throw you off a little bit, Quest, because I know there's a certain dude that you don't really like how he puts this, but it sounds just like him.
Yeah.
Except you didn't say cookie.
Yeah.
But it sounds just like that book that the man wrote. And yeah, he doesn't have the same views that we do right through, but that is one thing that the dude said. He was like, what you said, I don't have to repeat it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's true. And it's not just for her to hold it over the man's head as a prize, but it is in our case, you know, having sexual purity. Because there's some things that you're gonna want to know if you're thinking like you and I do, Quest. There's some things that you're gonna need to know from God, from his blueprint, that when we're living on the outside of his will, he can't put into our minds. Yes, you can talk about all the success in the world. You can talk about all the wonderful things that you know and you're wise and all of that. And because God is so merciful, got it. But he's already said that he doesn't move on a certain level of wisdom to people who are not listening to him. And what is the main reality about not listening? Doing things that we know aren't right, right? So if we want to be as wise as possible and we want to have as much information about that person that we couldn't possibly know naturally.
And you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe.
Then you just pull back on those things that you know are not right. And say, Lord, okay, I'm in your hands. Can you please show us what next?
Here's the question, D. Do you know that it's not right?
Well, I'm not talking about do I know.
Okay.
That's a different discussion.
Yep.
I'm saying if you do know.
Yep.
Because we don't have enough time to talk about it if I don't, because you can't charge nobody for what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But there are things that we know. There are red flags. There are things that we know that we're doing. And all of that stuff. And if we ignore that stuff, we get what we deserve. Absolutely. But Lord bless us if we learn how to kind of backtrack and say, all right, let me amend my ways and walk in the way I should go. Then with all the lumps and bumps and bruises that come with trying to amend your ways, at the outcome is so much better. So much better. And you now set your feet on the right foundation so that when trials come, all you're dealing with is the trials, not the baggage.
Absolutely.
Word. So, yeah, we could say a lot more. This is not a how-to, but yeah. So just build with people who are single. You're already married, and single people, holler at us if you need a little, little chat here and there, and we'll see what we can do to help.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So there it is. I'll let my man, get a little to the next stage. I would say
take it to good to great. Ultimately, we want phenomenal, but phenomenal don't just happen. It take work.
Good work.
Work.
Holla.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. So, yeah, we're still on Sizzle. Y'all want us to give you a little steak? You got to bring us to your place, man. Yeah, man. Together.
You got to do that.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we both go completely off the rails, I guess it's time for us to holler at y'all. All right? Yo, Peace.